The New York Rangers start the 22-23 season with a home ice victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. It was a fantastic victory for the Rangers, but I got one concern about this team going forward. Well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watt2K99. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching the videos lately and been subscribing. Want to welcome all of you. And, hey, feel free to engage with me in the comments if you got any questions for me. If you have any opinions, anything you'd like me to respond to, feel free to leave them down below. Love to engage with you all. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little New York Rangers hockey. Hockey season is back, and after the heartbreak of baseball, my goodness, did I need a change. I'm glad I got to jump from one right into the other in the span of 48 hours. So the Rangers opened up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They had a 3-1 victory, which was, of course, a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals, or last season's Eastern Conference Finals, won by Tampa Bay in 6 games. I thought this was a real statement win for the Rangers. And the other Ranger fans who I talked to really seemed to feel the same way. The Rangers didn't just win. They pretty much beat the Lightning down in just about every way you can. They outchanced them 21-14. They outshot Tampa Bay 39-27. Face-offs. The Rangers won 64% of the draws, 30-for-47. I mean, every game last year, even through the playoffs, it felt the Rangers were always around the 45% mark, maybe 40-45. So with the additions of Ryan Carpenter and Vincent Trochek, it is going to make a big difference. And when you have as lethal a power play as the Rangers could have, and now you're starting to win faceoffs, oh my gosh, the offensive ability of this team, it can be pretty special. But I want to point out a couple of things about this game. First of all, Vitaly Kravtsov going out of the game on his second shift. He took a very hard hit from Lightning defenseman Victor Hedman, all 6'7", 244 pounds. Took a hit into the boards. The one thing I didn't understand was after Hedman delivered the hit, it didn't look like a dirty hit, in all fairness. I'm not gonna knock Hedman for that. But what I didn't understand was afterwards he sort of while Kravtsov was on his hands and knees, he holds Kravtsov's head with his glove and sort of holds it down on the ice. I don't know what he was doing, but I didn't understand it. I don't think of Hedman as being a dirty player again, but I question what that was all about. So with their second line right wing out of the game, and he's day-to-day, just as we all are, Coach Gerard Gallant moves Alexei Lafreniere up to right wing on that line with Vincent Trochek and Artemi Panarin. And the line looked pretty good, didn't score any goals, but a lot of us thought it was going to take some time for everything to click with Trochek and Panarin, being that they're brand new to each other. And I thought they looked better today than they did for any of the preseason games that I watched, in terms of passes being on target and things like that. But this was the Mika Zibanejad show. So while the Rangers are shorthanded, he's coming down on a 2-on-1 with Lafreniere. And he does this leg lift. He's coming from Andrei Vasilevsky's left side. He does this sort of leg lift like he's going to shot. It makes Vasilevsky just hesitate for a moment, and he drops his right knee lower to the ice. It limits his mobility. Now, Zibanejad is looking for Lafreniere on a pass, but when he sees Vasilevsky's leg go down towards the ice, he knew he had an opening. And he shifts quickly to his backhand and roofs one right over Vasilevsky's right side. 1-0 Rangers. And then on the power play, after Tampa Bay had already tied the game on a 5-on-3, Zibanejad with his patented one-timer. We saw it so many times last season. We're going to see it a lot more times this season. And it was a 2-1 Rangers lead. Barclay Goodrow would ice it with a goal with 9 minutes left. And I'll tell you what got me so excited about this game. Do you remember the last 2 years? If you're a Rangers fan, you know Mika Zibanejad typically does not get off to a fast start. I think he had 1 goal in the first month of last season. And the same thing happened the year prior during the COVID season. So for him to score 2 goals in the first game of the season, he scored 81 points last year. He might shatter that, with what he has around him at this point. I am really excited to see what Mika Zibanejad can do. He's already well respected as maybe a top 10 to top 15 center, somewhere in that range. He might be able to get up even higher. He might be, in terms of productivity, he may never be recognized as Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon. He's not that player. Or Austin Matthews. He's not there. But he could be in that next tier right behind that. I don't think it's any exaggeration to say that could realistically happen. So there's a couple of other players I wanted to highlight as well. I want to go back to Vinny Trochek. So in this game, he played 22 minutes, and I think you really started to see the all-around skill that he was brought here to provide. There isn't maybe one thing he does particularly great. He's not a fantastic player, but there isn't anything that he does poorly. To me, he's a very much a B+ to A-, perfect number 2 center. You need him to win a face-off, he'll do that. You need him to score a goal, he could do that. If you want to play good defense, he's up to the task. I think this is going to be a really, really good signing. If nothing else, that you got him away from Carolina. I thought he and Panarin looked better than they had in any of the preseason games that I'd watched. So I do expect as the year goes on, it's only going to get tighter. Now, we're going to go back to Kravtsov in a moment because he would be the right wing on that line and talk about what would happen there. But also, big shout out to the penalty kill. They killed 5 out of 6 Tampa Bay power plays. And the one time Tampa Bay did score, it was a 2-minute 5-on-3. So I thought they did a really good job, and that was one concern I had going into the season. They had to basically overhaul most of their penalty killing unit. Ryan Strome was gone, Andrew Kopp, Andrew McKay, a couple other players too, Tyler Mott. Those guys all left. But, the penalty killing so far, I can't complain about killing 5 out of 6 and the 1 goal coming on a 5-on-3, especially to a unit as potent as the Tampa Bay offense. I thought Kaapo Kakko looked pretty good up top. Maybe nothing too flashy, but he looked very confident with the puck. He didn't mind getting physical when he had to. I think this is a year that he starts to emerge and silences certain doubters. I don't know what his long-term future is, but I think this is going to be the year where he can emerge as a very credible player in the National Hockey League. And by future, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be room for him on the Rangers. That darn salary cap. And also, I want to go back to Ryan Carpenter. He won 75% of his draws. We mentioned the faceoffs earlier. I didn't really know much about him going into the season, other than Gerard Gallant had coached him in Vegas, and he was a 4th-line player for him there. So that familiarity, that always helps. But 75% faceoff wins, I'll take it. Now, I want to talk about my one concern that I do have with this team, and it's not really with any of the players. But here's the thing. It really comes down to the salary cap and what happens with injury. Because let's think about it. Sammy Blais is injured right now. He's day-to-day. Don't know when he'll be back. Tonight, Vitaly Kravtsov got hurt. Upper body, day-to-day. As I'm recording this, it's Wednesday morning. We don't have a further update as of yet. I expect more of an update later on today. But here's the thing. The Rangers have 2 extra forwards on their roster right now. 2 forwards who are not playing. For the opening game, it was Dryden Hunt and it was Sammy Blais. Those 2 did not play. They only have about $183,000 in extra cap space. And part of the thing with this is if you have an extra forward, with the extra cap space you have, you're accruing more space over the course of the year. Then when the trade deadline comes, if you're looking to get a player, well, you have this extra money that you've accrued, and that could be $5 million, anywhere from $4 to 5 to even $6 million. If you have that space. But if you're down only $183,000, it's not going to be a whole lot of money. Certainly, you're not going to be able to get an impact player. There's all these rumors about Patrick Kane. If that's going to happen, it's not. The Rangers are absolutely not going to have the salary cap space to take him on if they have 2 extra forwards all year. So it may be Dryden Hunt going in Thursday night against Minnesota. But, even if they IR Kravtsov, if it comes to that, they don't have space to call up, even a Julien Gauthier. I know there's not a lot of Ranger fans who ever want to see Julien Gauthier again, but you have to call up somebody. And they only have so much depth in the system right now to call up. And with the lack of cap space, that's where that comes back to hurt you. So that's the thing with this. The Rangers are a very, very good team. On ice, top 5 in the NHL. I absolutely think they're going to be legitimate contenders for a Stanley Cup this season and for the next couple of years. But they have to get, I hate this word, they got to get a little bit lucky. Last year, Mika Zibanejad, Chris Kreider, Jacob Trouba, Keandre Miller did not miss a single game. Illness, injury, nothing. Adam Fox only missed 4 games. Okay? So you got to get a little bit lucky here in this league. Can that happen again? So that's going to go on chrisdrury, who I like a lot as a general manager. But he might have to pull off a pretty good balancing act to put up a relatively deep roster. Because if a couple of these guys start to go down, the Rangers are going to be in trouble. But for what we saw for Game 1, I'm very excited. I'm very happy to beat Tampa Bay. And now it's heading out to the Midwest, the North Midwest. Games on the road against the Minnesota Wild and the Winnipeg Jets, Jets. Not the same Jets. All right. Well, thanks very much for watching this video. I'll see you back here with more content from you know where. And before I finish that off, make sure to tune in tonight, Wednesday night, Jets Chaos with Jeremy. I will be co-hosting with Jeremy. We're going to have some really awesome guests on tonight. You're not going to want to miss it. More content from the Wicker Chair. Have a great day.